Hey, thanks for watching. We're going to do some super fun Valentine's cards today. They're really basic and good for beginners. The first thing you want to do is get some 110-pound cardstock, and we're going to cut this in half. This is just your regular 11 by 8.5 inch paper. It's really heavy and it's good for your base for your card. So you cut it right down the center at 5.5 inches. Just cut it right down the middle. Then we're just going to need to fold it. So this is a scoreboard. You don't have to have one of these to fold your card in half. It just makes it have a really crisp fold. So don't worry if you don't have one of these. It's fine. You'll just be fine folding it in half. I think the hardest part of making cards is picking out the paper that you're going to use. At least for me it is. Sometimes I can spend an hour just trying to figure out what paper I'm going to use. So today I found some Valentine's paper. It's close to Valentine's Day, so I thought this would be perfect. I think the ripped paper cards are probably my favorite. I think I make more of those than anything else. I think it's just because it's different. So I like to do that. Do something different, you know? You don't see it every day. So make sure that your patterns are going the right way for your card and cut a strip at about 3 inches, 2.5 to 3 inches. Just cut the strip right down the side. Okay, looks good. Now we're just going to cut it at 5.5 inches. That's the height of our card. Okay, looks good. This is going to be a cute card. So you can kind of play with it and see what it's going to look like with your two papers. Kind of figure out how, which paper you want where. Now just tear the edge off as close to the edge as you can. It takes some practice, so don't get discouraged. Just rip down the side. There. Okay, and the first thing we're going to want to do is glue down the one that's going to be towards the outside of the opening of the card. I like to use the acid-free archival quality glue. The reason I like to use glue is so if you need to move your paper after you've stuck it down, if it's not right, square against the line, you're able to move it a little bit with glue. If you use the tacky strips, it's not as easy to move around. So that's why I prefer glue, but you can use whatever you like. So we have the first one glued down. Now we're going to glue down the second one. We're just going to overlap it on top of the first one. Make sure there's no gaps where you can see the cardstock. Looks like it's going to cover just perfect. I like to leave a little gap too by the crease, so it's not right up against the crease. You have a little gap there. If you prefer to have it right up against the crease, that's fine. You can do that. Okay, now we have some burlap. I have a little embellishment, a little heart that I'm going to put on the card, and I wanted to put it on top of some burlap. So it'll kind of look like this. I like to use burlap. I actually use it quite often. It's just different. So we're just going to cut off the end. There's a lot of waves to this, I guess because of the way it was rolled up or something. So we're just going to cut off the seams. And we want to just make sure that the burlap is, big enough to put the heart on. We don't, we want to make sure we can see the burlap well, but we don't want it huge. So excuse me, the next thing we're going to do is just kind of pick off some of the strings so the edges look more worn and frayed. So we're just going to pick off a couple strings off the edges. This is kind of messy, but it's okay. It'll turn out really super cute. Okay, let's make sure the heart's going to look okay. It's going to fit fine. Okay, so now I'm going to glue down the burlap. I'm using the same glue as I was before. I'm just going to put it in the center where the heart is going to cover, because we don't want any glue poking up through the burlap that could stick to the envelope later on. So make sure to just put it under where the heart is going to be. I'm putting some extra glue on the heart too, just to make sure it really sticks down into that burlap. Okay, looks good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap twine around the inside edge of the card. I think I'm going to wrap it around twice. So we're just going to kind of measure 4 times, 2, 3, 4. Then we know it's going to wrap around twice, right? Okay, this twine is super curly because that roll was wound pretty tight, so this might be a little difficult. There's a lot of curls in it. So we're just going to wrap that around and tie it. Let's get it all scooted over by the crease. It's a little bit loose too. We might need to pull it a little bit tighter. There we go. Okay, now we're just going to make a knot. If you want to make a bow, that's fine. I just wanted to do a knot on it today. And then it's going to have some long kind of strings hanging off of it, so we're probably going to have to cut those down a little bit. Okay, there's our knot. Alright, now we'll just snip off the excess. We don't want them too long. Looks cute. Looks like the string is pulled a little tight, so we might have to kind of work with it to straighten that out. Alright, our card is straight. It's not bent anymore. Looks good. I like it. This could be for a man or a woman. It turned out really good. Okay, next we're going to do a little pink one. And this can be for a mom or a grandma or your niece or your daughter. So we're just going to do the same thing as before. We're going to fold it in half. Make sure we get our crease really tight. And again, you don't need one of these boards. You can just fold it in half. I didn't have one for many years. So this is the paper that I picked out for this one. We got some little black hearts, and then we got some pink paper with pink hearts. Okay, on this one, I kind of want the pink to, I want there to be more pink on it. So I'm going to cut the pink strip a little bit bigger on this one. I'm going to do maybe 3.5 inches. So this strip is a little bit bigger than our previous card. And I'm going to cut it at 5.5 inches. And that will be the height. And again, make sure that your hearts are going the right direction. Okay, for our black one, I'm going to cut the strip pretty narrow because I only want a little bit of this paper showing. So I'm making the strip a little bit smaller. But we'll still have to cut it at 5.5 inches. Awesome. Okay, we'll get rid of our cutter. Okay, so that's how it's going to be. It's going to look like that. We just need to rip the sides off. So let's just rip the sides down as close to the edge as we can. These are going to be really cute. Okay, So we'll stick down our black and white one first. And we're going to put it pretty close to the opening edge. You know, years ago when I first started scrapbooking, I think I used Elmer's glue, the school glue, because I didn't know any better. And about a year down the road, I was looking at my scrapbooks and my cardstock, my colored cardstock was discolored. Like my pink cardstock had purple squiggles in it because the glue discolored it. So it's really important to use, you know, your acid-free archival quality glue. Um, just can't stress that enough. Okay, so we're just going to stick our pink one down, overlapping the black and white one. And again, I didn't go clear to the crease. I left a little bit of a gap there. Make sure everything lines up. Awesome. Okay, I have this little die cut that I'm going to put on this one. Just to make sure that we get all of the pieces of the letters, the little tails on the E and everything covered with glue so that everything will stick down and nothing will catch on the envelope. But then again, you don't want to put too much glue because you don't want it to ooze out when you push it against the paper. So, you have to have a happy medium. Hey, it looks awesome. Okay, I'm going to put these little black buttons on there. If you want to do a ribbon like we did on the previous card, you can do a ribbon around the inside. But I was just going to put buttons here just so we had something different. There's so many different things you can do with cards. I just wanted this to be really simple so you can have like your young kids, your teenagers that are starting out, or even as a project. This is just really fun to do. It's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of time. And the more practice you have at it, the better you get. So that looks really cute. I'm just going to put a little swoosh of glitter here. That glitter is super fine and it dries really fast. I really love it. Just adds a little sparkle to it. Perfect. Great. I'm so glad that you guys hung in there with me till the very end. And please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And I hope to see you really soon. I'm going to have some other fun stuff on here. So I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.